Now, to the second question with yourself, Nick. The second question deals with basically a clause, whether the clause can legally be inserted into a lease agreement. And then obviously, so yeah, it goes as follows. Payments, the clause is as follows. Payments of rentals uh, received after the third day of the month in respect of which rental is due shall be subject to a surcharge of 300 Rand for every 7-day period to cover collection fees and or additional administration costs. The lessee shall on demand pay such surcharge to the lessor or the estate agent acting on behalf of the lessor. That's where that's where that closes off. So I'm not sure the difference between here in a residential or commercial lease, and whether there will be penal. So basically, and also whether penalties for late payments is actually an unfair practice, and if there are regulations in place, are these regulations already in effect, and are they different ones in different provinces? We have lost Nick. I see we've lost Nick. So Bruno, you might have to jump in and just take us through this one while you're on the spot until maybe Nick joins us and can give us some more content as well. Bruno?
Sure. Just give me a second. I'm just checking to see if he did message.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he's having some technical difficulties. Okay, no worries. So the question relates around basically charging a surcharge or default charge or whatever you want to call it, a penalty in the event of a person failing to pay their rent timelessly. Now, so one needs to understand that these are normally in our law considered as penalties, right? So they're not very specific on the amount of prejudice that a person's suffering, but rather they're a blanket amount. So if the person's not suffering that prejudice, doesn't matter. You still have to pay that penalty, be it 300 Rand or 1,000 Rand. So again, from a consumer perspective, this isn't something in our law that's appreciated or looked kindly upon in a lot of different respects, right? Even in sale agreements. So unfortunately, trying to charge that blanket fee doesn't make sense, especially because you can recover that in a different way. So you can either recover it through interest, as an example, or the collection of legal costs. I see that Nick is now back. Nick, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, a little bit more.
No, he doesn't.
I think I'm still having network problems, Bruno. You can finish up for the day.
Okay, sure. But look, but that's pretty much the gist of it, right? What are you trying to gain by charging a penalty? And the reality is the reason why we're so we like the charging of penalties is because it serves as punishment. It's punitive in nature. In fact, hence the word penalty. The idea behind it is to actually punish someone so that you can change their behavior. But that's not the idea behind being able to claim some level of compensation for suffering. So why do you charge interest? It's because the value of money over time depreciates. So you want to charge interest in order to retain that exact value of money over the period in which you weren't paid. Why are you able to charge legal costs in terms of lease agreements? Exact same thing. It's a cost that you incurred. So be it debt collection charges, legal costs, it's a cost that you incurred that the tenant has to pay. So you are able to recover all of this. Why charge a penalty? A penalty is a charge that doesn't necessarily equate. And then that's when there's abuses, because then you start at 300 Rand a day. Then some guys are 1,000 Rand a day. So penalties are a big no-no. It has been considered as an unfair practice in terms of the rental housing regulations. It is seen as an unfair practice. And that is the reason why. And ultimately, can you charge it? No. Can you charge something? Absolutely, within the confines of the Act, normally being interest and legal costs.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much there for answering that one. On behalf of also Nick there, Bruno. I won't try. Yeah, I won't try get a second opinion because I see he still is freezing a little bit. So yeah, that is us for today, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much. We'll see you again next week. Thank you, guys.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.